Good day, class. This is a review clip on getting you ready for the Unit 2 chapter test. Right on the title of this lesson, um, Unit 2 test review. Okay, write this down in your notebooks. Now, this is the learning objective for this lesson. Learning objective. Learning objective. Now, in this lesson, uh, by completing by completing 75% of assigned review problems, review problems, you will apply previously covered concepts on functions in review problems, solving review, solving review problems. Okay, these are the concepts that are going to be tested on the upcoming chapter test. So tested concepts. Just in brief, these are the concepts that I'm going to test you on. So you can focus your energy on the areas that you need help the most. Okay, so these are the tested concepts. You're going to be tested on one, long division. Long division. You're going to be tested on factoring. You're going to be tested on analyzing quadratics. And quadratics. Oh snap, I misspelled it. Quadratics. And you're also going to be tested on composition of functions. Composition of functions. Okay. All right. All these concepts are contained in the problems in your review sheet. Okay. So if you go through those problems on the review sheet, you will hit all these tested concepts. All right. Let's start with example number 1 on long division. Let's try this. Let's see. Divide. Properly. Gosh. Divide 8n to the fourth minus 20n to the third minus 4n plus 39 by 2n minus 3. Okay? So for this one, you need to look at the powers, make sure they're in descending order, and then if there are any ones missing, you have to put in a placeholder for missing degrees. So we have 4, 3, 1, 0 is in descending order, but if you notice, 2 is missing, so we will need a placeholder for that. So when I put it in the division bar, the divisor is going to be 8n to the fourth minus 20n to the third. Now watch this. The square term is missing, so I have to put plus 0n squared. This is a placeholder. Minus 4n plus 39. And then this whole business divided by 2n minus 3. This is the dividend, 2n minus 3. All right, now you look at the first two. 2n times what gives me 8n to the fourth? I know 2 times 4 gives me 8, and n times n to the third gives me n to the fourth. So I'm going to distribute this to the first and to the second. So that will yield 8n to the fourth minus 12n to the third. Okay? Now we're going to subtract. So we gotta do the opposite, add the opposite, so this becomes a minus, and that becomes a plus. These two cancel out, this becomes negative 8n to the third, and then you bring the 0n squared down, plus 0n squared. Alright? Now next, we're gonna ask ourselves 2 times what gives me negative 8n to the third. 2 times negative 2n squared. Alright, we distribute that back. Negative 2 times negative 2 gives you negative 8n to the third. And then negative 2n squared times negative 3 gives you positive 6n squared. Now we're going to we're going to subtract or add the opposites. So these two signs must change. This becomes a plus, and that becomes a minus. So we're going to subtract, which is the same thing as adding the opposite like we just did. So combine them. These two cancel out. We'll have negative 6n squared. And now we're going to bring down the, we're going to bring down this number right here. This number here comes down. Actually, I made a mistake. Let's see. Let's back up a bit. Yeah, this was supposed to be plus 4. This is n to the third. It's supposed to be plus 4 n squared. Alright? Actually, minus 4n squared. So minus 4n squared. Sorry about that. Square. If I distribute, I'm going to distribute that to that. 0n squared comes down. Distribute that to that. It's going to become negative 8n to the third. And then minus that and that becomes plus 12n squared. Alright, and then you add downwards. And then you got to do the opposite of the sign. This becomes a plus. This becomes a minus. And when you combine downwards, you have negative 12n squared minus 4n. Okay? Now to get this one, ask yourself 2n times what gives you negative 12n? The answer is going to be negative 6n. Alright? So you multiply that times both of them, you're going to have negative 12n squared plus 18. Plus 18 n, because 6 times 3 is 18. Alright? Now we're going to add the opposite. So we switch the sign and combine downwards. So when we switch the sign, this becomes a plus, and that becomes a minus. These two cancel out, and you have negative 22n, and then bring down, supposed to bring down, that's supposed to be bring down, and then you bring down the 39 as the last term. 39 comes down, plus 39. And then you do the same process again. Let's see, 22 times what gives you 22? 2 times negative 11 gives you 22. And then when you multiply back, you have negative 22n plus 33. And then you do the opposite. Do the opposite and combine downwards. So when we do the opposite, this becomes a plus, and that becomes a minus. And then when you combine downwards, you end up with positive 6. So your answer is 4n to the third minus 4n squared minus 6n minus 11. Remainder 6 over, put plus 6 over 2n minus 3. So that goes your answer right here. So this whole enchilada is your answer. Okay? So that's your answer. Alright, so that goes the review problem on long division. Now let's try one on factoring. Example 2. Factor 8x to the third minus 27, right? So this is a cube and this is a cube. Is there anything common? Let's break it down first to see if we can take out anything. So this is 2 times 2 times 2 times x times x times x. If we break down 27, what do we get? We get 3 times 3 times 3. What comes out? Nothing comes out. So multiply them back together. And we're going to ask ourselves, do we use a formula here or do we use the x game? It's a binomial, so we need to use the formula. What formula are we going to use? Cube. We're going to use a cube formula. We're going to use a cube minus b cube equals a minus b times a squared plus ab plus b squared. That's the formula we're using. So all we need is a and b. So to find a, we take the cube root of what? The first term, that's what a is, right? A comes first, 8x to the third. The cube root of that is 2x. Now, how do you get the second term? B. You take the cube root of what? Second term, because b comes second, 27. Don't take the minus, okay? So that becomes 3, because 3 times 3 times 3 is 27. So we just simply plug these two arguments into the formula. We're going to plug it into a minus b times a squared plus ab plus b squared, which is basically what the formula says. So we plug it in here. Our answer is going to be a minus b times b squared is 2x squared. I mean, that's a squared plus ab, which is 2x times 3, plus b squared, which is just 3 squared. So let's just simplify this to make it look nice, okay? So our answer is going to be 2x minus 3 times 4x squared plus 6x plus 9. And there goes your answer for the factored form, okay? All the formulas, these formulas are, are what you need to factor whenever you want to use formulas, okay? All right, so that goes that for factoring. And let's try one on composition of functions. Composition of functions. Number example 3. What if we had the situation where you asked to uh, find g of h of x, where g of x equals x squared minus 2x plus 3, and h of x equals 2x plus 5. How do we do this? G of h of x means you compose an apparent function with an input or baby function. So what does g of h of x mean? It means that the parent is g, which is this, and the input is h, which is 2x plus 5. So this will get plugged into those two spaces there, okay? So let's write down the parent first. The parent function is g. So identify the parent, because the parent comes first before the input or the child. X squared minus 2x plus 3. Now we're going to do what? Get the parent prepped, okay? Why are we getting the parent prepped? Well, we're getting the parent prepped because it's about to have an input function, or it's about to have a baby, yes? So what is that? How do you do that? You get all the x's out and replace them with parentheses. So the name of the input function or the baby function goes on the left side here, h of x, and the value, 2x plus 5, goes in the parentheses here and here, okay? Now let's simplify this and see what we get. So we'll follow this out first, or expand it, 2x plus 5 times 2x plus 5. Now, when we're distributing here, be careful because this 2 carries a negative sign, so we distribute them together to those two terms. So that will cause a flipping of the signs here. So it becomes negative 4x minus 10. Note, this is minus 10, not plus 10, plus 3. All right, now let's follow this out here. So when we do first outer, inner, last, we'll do the first, and we do first, and then outer. If we do the first, we get 4x squared, and then we'll do the outer, 10x, okay? And then we're going to now do the inner and the last. When we do the inner, we have plus 10x plus 25. And then we're going to just bring these down and combine these two, okay? Bring down the negative 4x, Negative 10 plus 3 is minus 7. So your answer here is going to become 4x squared. And then we can combine 10, 10, and 4. That's 20 minus 4, which is positive 16x. And we can combine 25 and or 7. 25 minus 7 is positive um, 18. Positive 18 is your answer. So there goes G of h of x. So whenever you're confused with this composition function, always write down the parent first and then get it prepped, and then you substitute. So parent preparation and then substitution. That's how you do the composition of functions. Now, the next thing we're going to look at is analysis of quadratics. Example number 4, which is example 3, right? Example 4. So what if you're asked to find the vertex? Just find the vertex. Find the vertex and axis of symmetry. An axis of symmetry of y equals 2x squared plus 8x minus 2. So how do we do this? So for this one, first thing you're going to do is you see this 2 over here, we need to move it over. How do we do that? Do the opposite. Add 2, add 2. Y plus 2. What I'm trying to do here is I'm trying to change it from standard form into the vertex form, okay? Alright, so we have that. Now we need to make this a perfect square, so I can root it. So I need x squared by itself. So this 2 needs to be factored out. So we have y plus 2 equals, you factor out the 2 by dividing these two terms by 2. Divide this by 2, divide that by 2. So you're going to have 2 times x squared plus 4x. And then you're going to do b over 2 squared. So b is this term right here, right? So b is 4. What do you do with that? You divide it by 2, and then you square it, which is 4. So b over 2 squared is 4. So on the right side, we have 2x squared plus 4x plus 2. I mean plus 4, sorry. Plus 4. This 4 we got by doing b over 2 squared. So we have a perfect square trinomial there. On the right side, y plus 2. What do I add? Do I add 4? No, we have a 2 here. So we're going to do 2 times 4, which is 8. So y plus 2 plus 8. Okay? Y plus 2 plus 8 is what goes on the left side. So we'll combine it, we'll have y plus 10 equals, bring down the 2, and then we use a factoring trick here. We root the first, root the last, end up with x plus 4, quantity squared. Alright? So in this problem, the vertex is, you do the opposite of the number next to the x, for the x coordinate, negative 4, and the y coordinate, negative 10. Negative 4, negative 10 is your vertex. Do the opposites, okay? And the axis of symmetry is the x coordinate of your vertex, which is negative 4. Okay? So hopefully this video has helped you out. Thanks for paying close attention. Now you're going to start working on your review sheet.